Good morning, everybody. Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency video on this Sunday morning. Hope all is well. Got a bunch of information to cover. I will be speaking high level on some events that occurred last week, some RippleNet partners, and also we see that $160 million plus, that's right, $160 million plus has been on the move, and we'll kind of look into that as well. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Martin Volk actually on Twitter was going back and forth with Flare Networks, and yes, I love to use Twitter for news. I understand that you have to fact check everything a lot, but in terms of hearing information directly from the source of Flare Networks, I absolutely love that ability. And they actually noted in terms of the date for the Spark distribution, so we know that if you have your crypto on certain exchanges that are participating, or you claimed your Spark tokens by holding XRP for the December XRP ledger snapshot, you'll be able to get the Spark tokens. So Martin was asking when the distribution of these Spark tokens would be, and they said when the network goes live. So we have not announced that date and when this will be. So we'll be keeping you guys up to date. I'll let you guys know specifically what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I might just wait to buy Spark tokens if they dip, but it's going to be a really case-by-case scenario, and I'll let you guys know if you're curious. All right, so right here, so on this website, and we fact-checked it and double-checked, so we have Mongolia, guys, right here. This bank will start offering crypto services. Now, there was actually a legitimate press release. Should be no surprise. We see India with, 22, with Kasha, we see 34 branches. We see all these nations, really, whether it's CBDC development, digitalization, and real-time payments. And now we also see crypto custody. And now JP Morgan is also announcing that they want to get into more crypto custody. They smell the money, plain and simple. You guys understand what's happening. We even in normal life, we're going to have negative interest rates on the way. So we have Trade and Development Bank of Mongolia, TDB Bank, reportedly plans to start offering crypto-related services. So I'd assume right here, custody, deposits, lending, remittance, asset management. All right, and now if we go right here, this is just on Cointelegraph. They actually had it linked right here for the source, and we can translate it and see where this actually came from. So it's not conspiratorial. It seems that they will be actually working on promoting these virtual assets or digital assets in cooperation with Mongolia's TDB Bank. So we have this Delio, or however you want to say it, a crypto finance company announced on the 28th. So just a few days ago, okay? And right here, this DDALI blockchain company Hexland, founded by former Samsung developers and white label tech company Delio, as I've just said, agreed to start working with the TD Bank of Mongolia. So we'll keep an eye on them. Right here, it's one of Mongolia's oldest banks with 50 branches across the nation, ranking second out of 17 Mongolian banks in terms of total assets. One by one, we are seeing banks across the globe. Maybe, they're a little faster in terms of, Asia and Europe compared to the US, but it is happening. Like, zero doubt in my mind for cryptocurrency, and zero doubt in my mind for XRP. I mean, if you guys watched, 500 plus videos, I'm not doing this for ad revenue. I'm doing it to spread this, make a difference, because this is literally going to be a revolutionary movement. All right. And everything I'm saying is my honest opinion, and I do believe that. Right here, so Neom, RippleNet partner. So we've seen their expansion across Africa. It is such a good sign to see RippleNet partners expanding and actually scaling big time. And yes, we know their connections with other groups. And now they're partnering with Banco Hipotecario in El Salvador. And hopefully you guys like my gringo accent for all of you Spanish speakers, Hispanohablantes. All right, right here, guys. So Binance and Ripple bearing a total of 674.5 million XRP. That is equal to approximately, at the time of this article, 163,899,215 Wow. And then also remember, RippleNet partner, another group that is scaling and always developing partnerships, is Asimo. And we've talked about them countless times. And we've noticed that they joined RippleNet in April. And then also they've announced that they're having remittance fees, absolutely insane. I should say halving, however you want to say it. My English is still terrible. From Australia, that integrates with Alipay right into China, guys. All right. So keep in mind, you can document all of this. The cool thing about DLT is you can see all of these transactions. Yes, there are private aspects to it with permissioned and public networks, but the good thing about XRPL is it is going to be based off trust, and you can see all of this information. Now, of course, we know, different amendments and different things that you can do for additional privacy in the future, but just wanted to demonstrate. I mean, you can click on this XRPL monitor and literally follow transactions. All right. Next, so in other news, guys, iTrustCapital, I do have an old Roth IRA that I moved over there. I do not contribute to my Roth IRA anymore. I'm unable to, but you can. And of course, I own XRP, gold, and now they finally have silver on the way. The links are in the top of this video description. Now, this is not for everybody, but if you are older and you have, say, maybe 401k and you were recently laid off and you want to diversify and get out of the stock market at all-time high, I think this would be a smart play. And this is not financial advice. This is a case-by-case basis. But truly, to diversify in XRP, Ethereum, gold, and silver, I would much rather do that than just sit in my old mutual funds like I used to years ago. So to each their own. I highly recommend you get in contact with these guys. There is a discount code, and you can see if this is for you. This whole process probably took me about 2 weeks, and I actually thought it was going to take 3 or 4 weeks, but it was actually really fast. I filled out a few documents. I honestly, I could talk on the phone, but I only talked on the phone like one time to somebody and just got it done. So I really appreciate, their business, and I only talk about services that I utilize and speak highly of. If someone better comes along, I'll be ready to let you guys know. But until then, I'm absolutely loving what obviously iTrust allows. And why am I hyping this? Why am I shilling this? Because in the future, I will be able to withdraw my crypto tax-free. I won't be paying 40% in capital gains like some people, or 15%. I will be withdrawing millions tax-free, and that is solely my intention. And if I want to get out of crypto, I can literally sell that back into US dollar with millions of dollars tax-free. There's no taxes incurred per trading with the Roth IRA. So I don't know if you guys just heard of this, but please look into it. You don't even have to use my discount code. You can use somebody else's or whatever. Just highly recommend looking into this, because this is where somebody's small bag could make a much bigger return than somebody that is, trading daily or just has long-term capital gains, depending on their jurisdiction. All right. So right here, guys, so we've seen crypto startup firm Avanti, and we know their connections with, of course, Caitlin Long, I believe. And notice their financial group has been granted a license to offer banking services by the Wyoming State Banking Board. So we talked about Mongolia, we've talked about India. Now we have Wyoming really stepping up as a state in the United States. So maybe I'll have to get a little property in Wyoming post-moon, take advantage of some of this, take advantage of these taxes, or some version of maybe an LLC. I'll have to talk to somebody because I'm not too, fluent with that. Let's just say that. All right, so the license or bank charter means Avanti can now operate as a conventional bank, but one with a twist, capable of holding both crypto and dollars, planning to launch in 2021. And we've also seen another group do that. Remember, was accepted back in July, Kraken. So Avanti's the second firm after Kraken. And the biggest thing right here, Caitlin Long. Good thing I remembered her name. I feel like there's like hundreds of people I have to memorize. Currently, the only type of U.S. financial institution that can provide final and simultaneous settlement of trades between digital assets and the U.S. dollar is a Wyoming special purpose depository institution like Avanti and also Kraken. So this is the thing that I blanked on the other video. Special purpose depository institution. And keep in mind, Kraken did the same thing. They are 100% fully reserved. So all crypto is on their exchanges, not a bluff. They're regulated. They have, OTC trades for you guys that are trading 6 figures and buy in bulk and sell in bulk and take advantage of these market moves. And they're 100% reserved. And I utilize Kraken, highly recommend it. Not financial advice, just saying that to cover my own butt. But you guys know links are in the video description for Kraken if you want to create an account as well. Also, wanted to give a massive shout out to Jay Kim. If you guys did not know, I believe he was at Swell. He interviewed a lot of the people at Ripple, and he has his podcast right here. So you can follow him at Jay Kimmer, and I highly recommend it. It's extremely professional. I've learned so much from watching his interviews with some big people at Ripple. And also, they pointed this out, and I know this is old news from last week, and I know everybody covered this extensively, but I still want to touch on this because I see it being important. So MoneyTap, as we know, Ripple has invested into MoneyTap, and MoneyTap is this application in Japan. We know Japan and their very big plans to, aiming to go a lot more cashless, go digital more before many other nations, and I would not count them out one bit. All right. So MoneyTap was originally an initiative from SBI Ripple Asia. This is a joint venture between, of course, SBI and Ripple. But now we know MoneyTap was a subsidiary of SBI, but other banks have now bought shares. And we know MoneyTap, the cool thing is they use Ripple technology. Now, I'm not saying XRP, but Xcurrent. So very cool. Obviously we know there is a domestic use case there as well. I know many people have talked about Mizuho's J coin. We can even talk about R3 and the S coin a while back. But honestly, guys, any Japanese information, even just throughout the APAC region, highly recommend just listening to Crypto Addy. I'm going to stick in my own little circle of competence and look at things high level across the board and make plays accordingly. All right. So right here, guys, Wrath Economy sharing this. I thought this was really good, and I just want to touch on this. So important convergences are happening with R3, which is one of my favorite groups, and Ripple, working in the same application now. MoneyTap, both are part of SBI's next generation banking infrastructure. Does the Ripple press suggest uses that might further connect the two in MoneyTap? Now, a lot of people don't want to get their hopes up. That is completely fine. You can, expect the worst and hope for the best. That's my way of doing things with investments. But let's just say I'm expecting some big things in the future for digital assets across the board. I think you guys know why. And I know Kitao would love for R3 and Ripple to work together, but we know there's been disputes, there's been lawsuits, we don't know everything, there's NDAs involved. We know R3 can't even say the name Ripple or discuss them. We've seen Ripple and R3 working with huge groups like SIA across the Eurosystem, across the Italian banking sector. We understand R3 has some reconciliation going, which has nothing to do with XRP or settlements, but I argue it does because I'm kind of a quantum thinker. And I think that everything does have a rippling effect, and they're utilizing DLT and Corda and all of this information. So I think all these pushes are going to lead to Jevons paradox, increase in demand, or an increase in efficiency is going to lead to an increase in demand. Right here, guys, I'm just going to speed through this, and I did retweet it, and you can follow him here, W. Kahneman. And so notice SB on Earth creating their S coin. We can go back to various reports talking about all this. R3's Corda based, coin that SBI offers right here. Highly recommend just looking at this and entertaining the thought. And this is just something that we're going to have to monitor rather closely. Okay. And then also that recent Beyond Proof of Work by David Schwartz of Ripple. And then soon after the letter of credit, he was revealing this XRP ledger and talking about the negative UNLs and different amendments on the way. And you guys know, I'm sure, the Hooks amendments for the XRP ledger. There's always development coming. So stay patient. I am ready to take advantage of some future market moves on the way, like zero doubt in my mind. All right, now I want to speed through this. So we have consensus. We know the recent acquisitions. We know connections with JPM. They collaborate with Bank of France, digital euro partner. Now, funny enough, Bank of France, we know that they've both mentioned this is a central bank, guys. They've mentioned Ethereum and XRP, talking about a scenario of central bank digital currencies being built on top and connecting to the protocol. You guys decide for yourselves. I think that alone speaks volumes, levels. All right. So I don't want to really go through that right now. I've already read through that. Just want to save your time. And also now, again, with consensus, they're just on a little spree lately. So Bank of Thailand, remember the Thai bot, seems ODL is on the way for XRP usage to use Enterprise Ethereum for a retail central bank digital currency prototype with consensus. And I think this is big for Ethereum. We know, Quorum, the forks of Ethereum. We know JPM with this new link thing, which we'll touch on briefly. Across the board, this is digital asset building, huge groups, vested interests, settlements, etc. And notice the Monetary Authority of Singapore, all right, MAS. They're huge connections with Accenture, Ripple, R3, go on and on and on. Right here, we've also talked about, Project Intanon, Lion Rock. This is R3's Corda, all right, and now consensus in Ethereum. So we're going to keep, monitoring this, Ethereum, XRP, Corda Settler, permission networks, consensus, all of this. I'm excited to see where this goes, guys. Why on earth are the biggest banks, why are the biggest, hedge funds, all these groups focusing on this? Because DLT is the future. We're going to a distributed landscape, and it's much more than just making us speculators money and investors. This is about better technology, redundancy, systemic risk, trust, like mutual trust rather than mutual mistrust in today's business environment. All right, so right here, guys, JP has launched the new Onyx unit because blockchain solutions can become a real business for the bank. All right, you've heard it from JPM. We'll speed through this. And of course, they have these different initiatives. But notice right here, as part of its blockchain offering, the bank is also reportedly looking to create new, separate payment rails for central banks that have shown interest in creating digital currencies. Interesting. We're going to have to monitor this carefully. All right, right here, JP Morgan has also rebranded its blockchain-based network called Interbank Information Network to Link, Link. After the publication, JP Morgan announced that Link participants would also get access to two applications called Confirm and Format. Confirm essentially allows for the validation of account information before initiating a payment to reduce operating costs, and we can also see and reduce fraud because obviously Swift is so inefficient. And guys, if this is a Swift killer, that's fine. Swift is messaging. That has nothing to do with settlement that XRP can do. And then Format enables payment instruction validation to check whether a payment message accurately conforms to key country and currency specific information requirements. Hey, you improve messaging, you improve, get some ISO standards on board in the future. That's all good and great. We need that type of push. And then settlement comes, guys. Just like saying we have to fix, some say we do domestic and then international or vice versa. The same concept, all right? 0 to 1. All right, right here, we already talked about this, creating these currencies. JPM's Link is shaping up to be a potential Swift killer. Now, looks like they steal these words right from Ripple. The aim is not to replace Swift, but rather to complement it. Interesting. Well, JPM coin, guys, is nothing more than an IOU. It's just them getting control. You've heard Brad Garlinghouse go on and on about why don't you just use $1? It's a 1-for-1 peg or stablecoin, however you guys want to say it. This is just based on trust. This is not revolutionary. This is just them trying to get more control. And this is the furthest thing from DLT, the purpose. Purpose of DLT, financial inclusion. This is still going to create walled gardens. Bank of America, for example, or some other group, maybe, I don't know the relationships per se, are not going to want to all agree to use JPM coin between 60 contestants or, 200 banks. There's going to be some big banks that say, no, we want to create our own in-house solution. And there's still going to be walled gardens just like we have today. So each ecosystem, so we need something that is a neutral bridge asset between this for interbank settlement. And I'm referring to the wholesale aspect for XRP. If it's XLM for retail, awesome. There's going to be many winners and they can even compete and, have market share, guys. I don't think people comprehend how much money there is out there. It's not just going to be XRP. It's not just going to be Ethereum. It's not going to be Link. It's not just going to be Quant. It's going to be multiple assets. All right. And they're going to have a Cambrian explosion and a rippling effect on one another. And then lastly, just to finish things off, JP Morgan is actively exploring digital asset custody and is looking for help from crypto native firms. They smell the money. Goldman Sachs smells the money. They're all involved. All right. Goldman Sachs with SAP and the Ariba network. We can talk about Visa, R3, MasterCard. I've never seen more in the past few years. And it's not just because I'm reading it. I've never seen more mergers, acquisitions, expansion than ever before. And I think you guys know what is coming. I wish I could tell you the exact date that all of this takes off. But until then, we are just going to be monitoring it and, sharing my opinion. And we're going to be right and we're going to be wrong. But as long as I am just right about digital assets, I'm happy as can be. Right here, JP Morgan has been engaging with digital asset firms on how it can offer digital asset custody to its clients. The firm would enlist sub-custodians to offer services, including Fidelity Digital Assets, which we talked about last video, Paxos, which is everywhere. They're also in that Atom group where Michelle Bond is now CEO. And I really hope that Atom brings in Ripple as a partner. I mean, obviously, you can already argue with BitGo and Anchorage. They're already kind of connected, but let's get a direct connection. And then also the exploration into custody comes as the firm has rebranded its blockchain division to Onyx. Huge things on the way, guys. I'm probably going to say this in the next video too, but I just want to touch on this and remind you. And if you are watching till the end of this video, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for the likes. It definitely helps the channel with the views, and I enjoy being able to reach people. But understand this. The price you see today in crypto is not the future price. The crypto market today is 95%, maybe even 99% speculative. It's fairy dust. Now, this is still an adolescent in the scheme of things. It is maturing, and when utility comes, this market will erupt in tandem with speculation, because speculation is healthy for a market to grow. The hype, the trends, they always bouncing between perspective and reality. That is just how it moves. All right. So, however, though, and with all due respect, unless you're basing it off of true historical data and information, not off how you feel, it is naive. With all due respect, guys, it is naive to assume that the bottom of crypto is in just because you feel like it's been a few years since 2017 and because you feel like you research a lot and you feel that now that banks are buying and shilling Bitcoin at 90,000% up, that it's time. That is not the way to go about things. I implore you to just look at both sides. If you are bullish, entertain bearish scenarios. If you are very bearish, you have to entertain the bullish scenarios. You cannot get caught slipping and looking through a tunnel, all right? And I know we're always going to have different opinions in the space, which is expected, completely natural, and obviously is a good thing. So regardless, I know we're all just excited for what's to come, guys. Stay positive, and I wish you guys well.